Shalom, Yashala. It's the brother Kaya coming from Louisiana, GMS Louisiana Saints camp. And I just want to update the IQM on the latest social media scandals, man. You know, and just to keep the brothers in tune with the outside world, man, along with the social media world, man, that's linked into all these different nations of people, man. You know, it's clearly no privacy, man. But with no further ado, I'm gonna give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, greets, and salutations to the icon that's pushing his work around the globe in truth and sincerity. To the true icons push on, man. We're almost out of here. Lord willing, I hope this video be edifying.
What most people don't realize is the Russians didn't just meddle in the election. They targeted almost every major American social movement.
The defendants and their co-conspirators pretended to be grassroots activists. According to the indictment, the Americans did not know that they were communicating with Russians.
One clear target: racial tensions. CNN uncovered how one Russian campaign played out in real time, unbeknownst to those who were really involved. It was July 2016. Philando Castile had just been shot by police in Minnesota, and his girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, began streaming live on Facebook. Stay with me! The last moments of Castile's life would be seen by millions of people around the world.
The video went around on Facebook. It was viral like crazy. It was pretty unreal to watch that almost in real time.
We began to receive text messages, Facebook messages, all at the same time. It was like everyone's phone started going off. A couple people said, we're gonna go down to the governor's mansion.
Activists on the ground decided the mansion would be the main site of their protest. But at the same time, a mysterious group called Don't Shoot began organizing a different protest outside the police department where the officer who had shot Castile worked.
Where did this organization come from? We're used to actually being reached out to help bring people to the protests. And this was something that literally just came out of the blue. The 4th precinct was in Minneapolis, North Minneapolis, and the governor's mansion is in St. Paul, Minnesota. Two completely different areas with different demographics.
Being involved here for the last number of years, I know that there is no organization called Don't Shoot, and so I knew that something was off. I just poked around a little bit, looked at their page, saw that it had thousands of likes. Then I messaged their page. I said, who are you involved with? Who do you have on the ground that's working on setting this up? I know individuals in all of these organizations. None of them had heard of this group, none of them had heard of this event, and none of them were involved in planning this event.
We need to reach out to these people to make sure they know what they're doing and they don't put people in danger.
Any number of things could happen when thousands of people show up with mixed emotions during the peak of an anti-police brutality movement.
Our solution was to kind of take over the event and have our own marshals and have our own leaders.
We ended up occupying space in front of the police department, and no one got hurt. That was our top priority.
But this was much deeper than just a rogue protest.
We got an anonymous tip forwarded to us that stated that their website was registered to some strip mall in Illinois.
But no one at the mall knew about the website. It was a fake address, it was a fake page, it was a fake website. In reality, Don't Shoot was being run from more than 4,000 miles away in St. Petersburg, Russia.
CNN has now learned Don't Shoot Us wasn't local nor national. It was Russian.
The troll group was the Internet Research Agency. It had ties to the Kremlin, a budget in the millions, and a network of thousands of fake American social media accounts. And it only took them a few hours to begin posting about the shooting of Philando Castile. You know that feeling when the last strip of grass is exactly the width of your lawnmower? That's kind of how it felt when we saved hundreds by switching to Geico.
More than 200 pages of internal Facebook emails were released on Wednesday by a UK parliamentary committee investigating disinformation. The emails, mostly from 2012 until 2015, include conversations among executives like CEO Mark Zuckerberg, as well as external companies who worked with Facebook to appear before. Include conversations among executives like CEO Mark Zuckerberg, as well as external companies who worked with Facebook's platforms like Microsoft, Lyft, Tinder, and Airbnb. Some of the emails show Mark Zuckerberg discussing how to better gain value for the platform by leveraging access to user data. Others show how the company restricted competitors from accessing Facebook data. The chair of the parliamentary committee, Damian Collins, said they released the documents because they raise important questions about Facebook's approach to user data. The documents stem from a lawsuit brought against Facebook by a small app company called 643. Now, Facebook didn't want these internal emails to be released, and they're still technically under seal by order of a California judge. But last month, the UK Parliamentary Committee got their hands on them in dramatic fashion when 643 CEO was escorted to Parliament after a sergeant-at-arms appeared at his London hotel. A Facebook spokesperson told CNN that 643's lawsuit is baseless and the documents are only part of the story and have been presented in what they say is a misleading way. The spokesperson emphasized that they have never sold user data. The UK Parliamentary Committee continues to request Mark Zuckerberg to appear before them to answer questions. Thus far, he's resisted. We'll see if these documents change the equation. Hadass Gold, CNN, London.
I'd like to ask you as my opening question, the corporate decision of Facebook to blow off this meeting with Mark Zuckerberg, was that who gave Mr. Zuckerberg the advice to ignore this committee?
An empty chair for Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg as lawmakers from 9 different countries convened in London on Tuesday for an unprecedented international committee hearing on fake news and disinformation. The representatives wanted to question Zuckerberg like lawmakers from the United States and the European Union have in the past year. Instead, a Facebook vice president, Richard Allen, took the hot seat, answering questions on Russian meddling, fake news, and users' data privacy. The Facebook executive admitted that the company is not in a good place in terms of public trust, but said they were working to improve that and are even open to future regulations.
You said earlier on that you apologised for the decision for Mark Zuckerberg not appearing here, and you took responsibility for that. How do you think that looks as a member of this parliament?
Not great. I guess is the answer. Election in America.
The hearing came just as committee chair Damian Collins obtained internal Facebook documents that had been under seal by order of a California court. The documents, which include emails between Facebook executives, stem from a lawsuit brought against Facebook by a small app company called 643. Facebook didn't want the documents released, but they were seized in dramatic fashion last week when 643 CEO was escorted to Parliament after a sergeant-at-arms appeared at his London hotel.
There is one item within those documents that I think is of considerable public interest, and I think relates to the point you've made. I want to put this to you, is that an engineer at Facebook notified the company in October 2014 that entities with Russian IP addresses have been using a Pinterest API key to pull over 3 billion data points a day through the ordered Friends API.
In a statement, Facebook said the engineers who had flagged these initial concerns subsequently looked into this further and found no evidence of specific Russian activity. Collins said the committee is going through the rest of the seized files and hopes to release them within a week.
Thank you very much.
Hadass Gold, CNN, London.
Liberty Mutual Accident Forgiveness means they won't hike your rates over one mistake. See? Liberty Mutual doesn't hold grudges. For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of their first accident.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Two new reports detail just how far Russia went in its social media campaign to help get Donald Trump elected. This report, commissioned by the Senate Intelligence Committee, of analysis yet of Moscow's disinformation attack, and it found that Russia deployed every major social media platform to sow discord and push voters toward then candidate Trump. I want to bring in CNN's Alex Marquardt. He is here to break it all down. So what more did we learn in this report? There had already been a lot out there about Russia's disinformation campaign, but it appears there are some new details in this report, Alex.
A lot more details, and that's really what's new, Pam. These are two blockbuster reports that really dive into a huge amount of data from the social media giants, and what it has discovered is that the
What most people don't realize is the Russians didn't just meddle in the election. They targeted almost every...
Yes, a lot about that for that last video I gave, but Lord willing, I hope it was edifying. Next time I want to see Shalom.